Hey guys, welcome to another episode in the deep playthrough of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Delta. Previous episodes, the game again crashed while we were starting this level. Actually, listening to the codec, new codec conversations before actually starting the level. So we have to restart the codec conversations. I will skip the ones that we heard at the end of the previous episode, but just to make sure that we are hearing all of them. Let's see, do we have a gun now? I do think we have a gun. Yes, we do. So we have this weapon. I don't see a silencer actually. And we have, so we do not have the tranquilizer anymore, or do we? No, not here. Let's check over here. That's weird. Why wouldn't we have the tranquilizer gun in our loadout? It is still a stealth mission, I guess. So we have the directional mix, stun grenades, a magnum and a survival knife, and a Siberian ink cap that we just picked up. And then we have the fake death pill cigar. Still not sure what it does. I think it may decrease maybe your health but increase your stamina or something. And maybe also reduces weapon sway if you're sniping. Binoculars and compass. Compass is totally useless because we are not using the HUDs. I did, because the game actually crashed quite a lot of times. So I had like, one thing I did was I enabled, I think, a newer model of DLSS, which really looks better, unless it's a placebo effect, but I really think it looks better than what the game default ships with. You can change that in the NVIDIA app. I set it to model K, I think. And then I also, via some config file, adding some lines to it, I enabled NVIDIA Reflex, which really seems to reduce the latency. I think the frame time went from 100 or 120 milliseconds to 60 milliseconds, so it feels more responsive. But I also enabled frame generation, and I don't know if it's actually doing something if you have, like I have, the frames kept at 60 FPS. But at least to start, I removed that line for frame generation. Maybe that helps with being a bit more stable instead of crashing all the time. Can we pick that up? Nope. But yeah, so still a little bit slow. I'm very slowly getting to grips with the mechanics again after years playing this game for the last time. And also I really want to re-go through all the lore. So we have to do some codec conversations. Here we go. For some tips and tricks, but also for some nice background exposition on the story.
Snake, your first task is to meet up with Adam, the contact provided by the KGB. The rendezvous point is the abandoned factory to the north of your current position. Head north.
The abandoned factory. That's where I met Sokolov during the Virtuous mission.
Correct, but we can't afford to have the same thing happen this time.
I know.
Like the Virtuous mission, Operation Snake Eater is a solo sneaking mission. There are no units in the field to back you up. Avoid engaging the enemy whenever possible. Your first priority is to remain unseen. Use the camouflage option in the survival viewer and choose your camouflage wisely. Proceed with caution. Unlike the Virtuous mission, this is a night op. You'll get lost, but it'll also make, on the other hand, you'll also find that different paramedic is with us again. Give her a call if there's...
We already heard that
Operation
one.
Snake Eater is different from the Virtuous mission. The time limit
This
set
one
by
as well.
Khrushchev is 1 week. Within that...
I know.
Good. In any event, you'll not be allowed to return until you've... Survival in the field will be critical in this mission, and the most important of... You can get food in the same way you did. The enemy presence in that area is still light.
Alright, we also got that one already.
Thanks to last week's nuclear incident, the Soviet Union, we're one step away.
DEFCON 2.
In American parlance, from what Western intelligence has been able to gather, the radical elements in the Soviet command are showing signs. They say we're on the brink, and with Khrushchev's position getting weaker every day, I worry.
1 week.
Yes, America must eliminate the boss by its own hand. Everything rests on your failure.
I know.
Also, already did that one.
Major, what should I do with this wreck of a drone?
Just
Also
leave it
this
there.
one.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But isn't this...
Yes, it is. After the plans were that craft, the D-21, the M-20, a supersonic, however...
It's a pretty cool entry, but it's already in the end of the last episode.
With Selenoyarsk in such a high...
This is all top...
That's right.
Why?
The purpose of, namely, part of that mission involves making...
So we have...
Don't worry. The only thing the...
Got it.
What is it?
I think they'd better redesign the land.
I'll let them know.
Major, I appreciate you allowing me to use weapons, but should...
You
We
mean
also
fake?
Right.
got this one already.
Snake, do you remember the Francis Gary...
Powers was flying...
His confession brought, as a result, the U.S.
Yeah, I remember.
U-2 pilot Powers was carrying Rombbb. He was also carrying 2 Goldwatch. All of these objects were meant... But for this mission, we've got to... There's no need to... All you need to do is complete your mission. As long as...
Okay.
Also did that one.
The Soviet intelligence community must be up in arms about the boss's defection.
This one I don't know.
The great Voyevoda has abandoned America and embraced the Soviet Union.
Voyevoda.
Apparently, that's what they... It means
Yeah.
warrior in
We
Russia.
already
where they've
did
had
this one.
poetic in a way. The boss's exploits have made her name...
Major, why did the boss defect?
I don't know, but I will tell you this. America is all too eager to get rid of her.
What do you mean?
She knows too many of... If she were
Also,
to relay
did
all the
this one.
top-secret information she knows to the Soviet bloc, it might even lead to the... Even if we survive, the boss, with her in the Soviet camp, we'd suffer a fatal loss of morale. There are even whispers that some of the less stalwart elements of the military might follow her example and I assume you're aware that since your last mission, several key figures within this...
Yeah.
The loss of the boss...
What about you?
Me? I still can't believe it. As a comrade, I would have placed... But now that I think about it, I never would have expected it.
Oh,
Oh, well, it won't do to get all misty-eyed about it.
understood.
Right, I would have liked... We already heard that one. But I skipped through it a little bit too quickly because there was one line in it saying even if the boss would survive then blah blah blah. I would like to reread that one because I don't exactly know what was meant with that, because that's our objective, to kill the boss, to prove America's innocence, that America was not behind the mini nuke set off by Volgan in the last episode, or maybe the episode before it. I think it was the previous episode. So why would she survive anyways? It would of course be bad, because then Snake will have failed his mission. So I clicked too soon past that one, and now you cannot really easily re-listen to an entry, unless randomly just going through all of them and hoping that it randomly pops up again. But there are so many. Chance that that one will return anytime soon, that entry, is pretty small.
Major,
Yes?
I was just wondering, why do they call you Zero?
What do you mean?
We go back...
You want to know?
I
Yeah,
already did this one.
Nostalgia.
The head of the he was referred since then.
And James Bond.
That's right.
And that's where...
Precise. In another sense, though, it signals the primogen.
Is that so?
Snake, let's go over the controls for CQ. Press the CQ, press and
This
hold.
one
Use them. If you
already
don't,
done.
when you're holding it from there, there are by move. You can either if you keep. You can also the enemy will be use that by pressing the interrogate button. You might be surprised, but stay alert. While the enemy is nearly helpless in your grasp, if you give him a chance, you can only grab an enemy using CQC, such as the. You can't grab the enemy when you, such as assault rifles, or that prevent you from controlling the enemy with your right hand. In short, you can't use CQ. You can tell whether a weapon is compatible with
Already did
Snake,
that one.
camouflage and face paint alone. In addition to the camouflage itself, your physical position is... Snake, this is a solo sneak. There are no medics there to assist you. You'll have...
I had a little bit of...
That's where I come in. To treat an injury, healing is medicine, treatment. You'll use this treatment method when you have food poisoning or surgical. You'll use this method to, as long as you do everything, be sure to follow.
Already did that one.
Snake, the food you catch will grant...
Some types of foods, animal and fish meat, goes bad relatively fast. But animals won't go bad if you capture. You can tell whether food has gone bad or not by looking closely at the icon on the food screen in the survival view. So be sure to check the icon before. If you eat spoiled food, it'll get better eventually. If you get a stomach ache, go to cure. Digestive medicine and antidotes aren't the only. You can also go into the survival view, then rotate the. When you get dizzy enough, that should get rid of any stomach ache.
We did that in the previous episode, pretty funny. Spin Snake around in the menu and then get back into game and then he will throw up because he's dizzy.
Stand near a fallen enemy and press the reload. Hold the reload button and move to drag the body. After you've grabbed an enemy from behind with CQC, this is an some of your enemies have valuable information. Stand near a fallen enemy. Hold the When in first-person view with an equipped weapon, move the movement stick to lock your line of fire while moving. Move while in first-person view to track the enemy and find a more advantageous spot to attack from. Press the crouch button while hanging to drop straight down. You can knock an enemy instantly unconscious with this technique. When you're in a tree, try aiming for an enemy. You can get inside trees that are hollowed. Entering a hollow is an effective method for gaining temporary. However, if you're caught if they throw a grenade in on you. When in first-person view with an equipped weapon, move the movement stick to lock your line of fire while moving. Move while in first-person view to track the enemy and find a more advantageous spot to attack from. Snake, when your stamina gets low, you've got to replenish. Press the CQC button when you're up against a wall to knock on the wall and make creating. There are many. Use it to lure an enemy or lure an enemy near you. Use it to your up.
Alright, I do want to listen to that one conversation from on the boss very quickly, just to get the full grasp.
The rendezvous point is the abandoned factory to... Like the Virtuous mission... Unlike the Virtuous mission, Operation Snake Eater is different from the Virtuous mission. Thanks to last week's nuclear... We're one...
DEFCON.
In America. From what Western intelligence has been able to gather...
Major, what should I...
Just leave...
Major, I appreciate you allowing me to use...
The Soviet intelligence community must be up in arms. The great Voyevoda has abandoned America.
Voyevoda?
Apparently, that's what it means warrior or mighty soldier in Russian. When used to refer to in Russia, where they've had a number of female emperors throughout their history, it's a term of great respect. Well, poetic in a way. The boss's exploits have made her name famous in the East as well.
Major,
Right.
why did the boss defect?
This maybe it's...
I don't know, but I will tell you this. America is all too eager to get rid of her.
What do you mean?
She knows too many of our secrets. If she were to relay all the top secret information she knows to the Soviet bloc, it would put us at a severe disadvantage. It might even lead to the downfall of the West. Even if we survive, the boss is still too much of a hero to us. With her in the Soviet camp, we'd suffer a fatal loss of morale at home. There are even whispers that some of the less stalwart elements of the military might follow her example and defect themselves. I assume you're aware that since your last mission, several key figures within the CIA have been placed under house arrest.
Yeah.
Right, so it was not even if the boss survives, it was even if we survive. So probably if the mission goes well and the nuclear war is averted with the Khrushchev and the Brezhnev camps, there's one faction in Russia that wants to retaliate against the US because they think that the US was behind the mini nuke detonated on one of the research facilities in the previous episode. Even if that would all be averted, then the boss still needs to die because it's too much of a morale boost to the Russians and a loss to the US to have somebody as epic and famous as the boss now be part of the Russian camp, so to say.
Major,
Yes?
I was just wondering.
Right, I will just go through a couple of
Snake,
more
let's go over the press the
just to.
Snake. In
I
addition,
don't know if if this also is some kind of an achievement if you have all the codec entries listened to, but I
Snake,
obviously
this is a there are no
did these. I don't even know whether it counts
Snake,
if
the
you
food you can
open them and then just fast forward through them, but
you can get inside trees that are hollowed out. Entering a
I'm not going to listen to
You
them
can get
all in
entering
full,
when you hold a net conduct
but just
when you creep inside. Also in the corner view, you can traverse narrow crevices and pathways. Although such locations they also make it harder to make a quick. Be sure to check your.
Alright, that was it for Major Zero. I don't know if there's an achievement for all the codecs, and I'm not really an achievement hunter. I'm a collectible hunter. Achievements I don't really care. Sometimes I do, but I'm not really maintaining a list of which achievements to do. Anywho, let's see if Paramedic has some news.
Snake, that's the home to the Otten frog. The Otten frog is a large, corpulent species of frog. They're known as a delicacy, so it might be worth catching them for food. The Otten frog was originally found only on Amami Oshima in Japan. Frogs usually have 4 toes on their front legs, but the Otten frog is unique in that it has 5.
Got it. By the way, you said they were known as a delicacy, right?
Right.
So that means they must taste pretty good, huh?
I guess so. I hear that in Japan, Otten frog sashimi and sukiyaki are popular dishes.
Really?
Yeah.
Japan, huh? That place is starting to sound better and better.
Snake, that area is inhabited by the Japanese flying squirrel. Japanese flying squirrels are non-venomous, and they shouldn't attack you. The head, front legs, hind legs, and tail of the Japanese flying squirrel are connected by a membrane of skin, which allows the squirrel to glide from tree to tree. It says here that if it catches a good wind, it can fly more than 100 yards.
Sounds like it's going to be tough to catch one.
So, aren't you going to ask me?
You know it. How does it taste?
Not sure.
Not sure.
The guy doesn't say anything about it.
Why not?
Gee, maybe it's because no one would ever think of eating a flying squirrel.
Then I must be the first one.
Maybe you are. You can capture animals alive by using the tranquilizer gun or a mousetrap. When you capture a live animal, you can carry it on you as a weapon by going to backpack in the survival viewer. Once an animal is on your person, equip it, use the aim button to ready it, then press the attack button to throw it. Throwing a venomous animal at an enemy might be enough to knock him out. Even non-venomous animals like frogs can be used to distract the enemy's attention. And since I know you're going to ask me, yes, keeping animals alive prevents them from rotting and makes them taste better when you eat them. Remember, though, you've only got 3 cages for capturing live animals.
Alright, that was the question I had, whether throwing a venomous snake will actually kill enemies or only knock them out. And yeah, I think Paramedic now said only knock them out, so that's good. We can do that, because I'm trying to go for a 0 kill run.
There should be a mushroom called the Bicol scalytooth growing in that area. The Bicol scalytooth mushroom is used as an antidote to poison. It usually grows on the trunks of trees, so look for it there.
How does it taste?
I think you're going to be disappointed.
Damn.
Oh, quit your whining. You know what they say, good medicine tastes bitter. Treating serious wounds will require you to use additional medical items besides your knife and cigar. That's why it's always a good idea to carry as many medical items with you as possible. If you start to run out of medical items, find some more as soon as you can. The enemy should be carrying medical supplies as well. You can get them by holding up enemy soldiers and shaking down their bodies. There should be an herb called Chinese plantain growing in that area. The Chinese plantain is an herb that resembles a plantain root. The leaves and seeds contain large amounts of aucubin, choline, and tannin. When you mash it up and apply it to a wound, it helps stop the flow of blood and eases the pain a bit. The Chinese plantain becomes a styptic when you pick it up. If you see one, don't forget to take it with you. When you're bitten by a venomous animal such as a snake or a spider, or hit by a poisoned arrow, the poison will start to affect your body. Your life will decrease with each passing minute, so cure the poison as soon as possible. To cure poison, go into Cure in the survival viewer and inject yourself with a dose of serum. You can get serum from enemies. Either hold them up or shake their bodies down after you defeat them. I'm pretty sure you can also get serum by capturing the rabbits that live in that area. When you get shot, you'll sometimes suffer a gunshot wound. The chance of suffering a serious injury is especially high at close range. When you have a gunshot wound, your maximum life will decrease depending on its severity. Gunshot wounds will heal naturally over time, but if you want it to heal faster, go into Cure in the survival viewer and treat it. To treat a gunshot wound, you need to dig out the bullet with your knife, disinfect the wound, and apply styptic, then wrap it in a bandage. When all that's finished, the gunshot wound will be fully healed. Snake, I think there's a plant called Slav horehound growing in that area. Slav horehound is an herb in the horehound family. It contains large amounts of diterpene, flavonoids, and alkaloids, which give it strong germicidal properties. If you find one, it should make a good disinfectant. You should be able to find ezocomfrey in that area. Ezocomfrey is a plant in the comfrey family that's found only in Selinoyarsk. If you find one, you can use it as a cast to treat broken bones.
How can a plant be turned into a splint?
The roots of the ezocomfrey are extremely sticky. You can use them as a kind of plaster cast to fasten the affected area in place.
I get it.
Snake, be careful when you approach the enemy. The closer you are to them, the more accurate their shots will be, and the more damage their weapons will do. That means you've got a greater chance of getting seriously wounded. Daring frontal assaults are not a good idea. But if you do get seriously injured, go into the survival viewer and treat it immediately. Some types of food spoil faster than others. Animal and fish meat goes bad relatively fast.
Already did that one.
There's an herb called the Amur kudzu growing in that area. Amur kudzu is a member of the bean family and a close relative of the kudzu weed. The roots contain a number of isoflavones such as daidzein, which give it strong fever-reducing properties. It'll make a good cold medicine if you find some. Snake, if you or one of your comrades is wounded in battle, what do you usually do?
I call for a medic.
What if there's no medic nearby?
I don't even want to think about that.
Think about it.
That's my worst nightmare. Any soldier can perform basic first aid, but it takes a specialist to perform the more complicated procedures. I know a lot of guys who'd still be alive today if they'd had access to a medic.
Me too. So I got to thinking, wouldn't it be great if we could parachute medics into the front lines where they're needed most?
You bet. That's why you're called paramedic.
Yeah. With a unit like that, we could save a couple of lives, huh?
No,
No?
not a couple. We could save many lives.
Thanks. I think the Army needs a unit like that. And if no one else will do it, I'm going to create one myself.
Sounds like a plan.
Will you help me?
Count on it.
Alright, already heard that one before.
Snake, do you know what epinephrine is?
What's with the questions?
Well, do you?
No,
Also known as adrenaline?
never heard of it.
Really?
Nope.
I have.
Good for you.
Do you want to hear about it?
Not really.
Oh, I think you should hear about it.
Here we go.
So, epinephrine is a type of hormone. It's secreted from the adrenal glands in high-stress situations, like when you're exercising or you're under pressure. The epinephrine is released into the bloodstream and stimulates special receptor cells on various organs throughout the body. This causes the heart to beat faster, the blood vessels to constrict, and the respiratory passages to expand. It also raises blood pressure. You ever notice how you're faster and stronger than normal when you're under stress? That's because of epinephrine, and when you're bleeding, it...
Paramedic.
Yeah,
Is there a point to all of this?
of course. In the alert phase, your body secretes epinephrine, and so your stamina won't be depleted as fast.
Uh-huh.
There. Good thing I told you, huh?
As always.
There are so many cool little mechanics in this game, like guns do more damage if they shoot you up close, and also indeed epinephrine or adrenaline rushing through your body in the alert phase so your stamina reduces slower. That are really nice little touches. That's why I'm also listening to all these codec conversations to really get a grasp on those um, yeah, tidbits of game mechanics that you otherwise would not even know are there.
Check your stamina gauge to see how much stamina you have remaining. It shows, as the name suggests, as you consume stamina, your O2 gauge and grip gauge also become shorter. Excessively low stamina can often make sure you replenish stamina. Burns happen when you're engulfed in flames or get caught in an explosion. When you've got a burn, your maximum life will go down depending on its severity. Burns heal naturally over time without you doing anything, but if you go into cure in the survival viewer and treat the burn, you can heal it instantaneously. To treat the burn, lightly spread the ointment over the wound and wrap it in bandages. If you do both of these things, you can heal the burn altogether. Check your stamina gauge to see how much stamina you have remaining. It shows, as you consume stamina, your natural life regeneration is slowed and your hands shake more. Your O2 gauge and grip gauge also become shorter. Excessively low stamina can often impede your mission objectives. Make sure you
That's also cool. Lower stamina is more weapon sway.
That area is home to You should be able to find Russian oyster mushrooms in that area. The Russian oyster mushroom is an edible variety that belongs to the shimeji family. It's known to be particularly rich in vitamin B1 and niacin. Apparently, it's usually found growing on tree stumps and hollow logs, so look there if you want to eat some. You should be able to find Siberian ink cap mushrooms growing in the Siberian ink. It's known to be edible. To take a rest, all you have to do is the next time you load your saved data and continue the game, how much they recover depends.
That's also super cool. You can stop the game and restart, and then you replenish some life and stamina, but not everything in one go. But the longer you're away, the longer your rest, so to say, or Snake is resting, not in the game, the more it will replenish. That are really cool mechanics.
You'll find a fruit called the yabloka. You should be able to find Russian. To take a rest, all you have to. Cuts happen when you get slashed with a knife or other sharp object. When you have a cut, your maximum life goes down depending on its severity. Cuts heal naturally over time, but if you go into cure in the survival viewer and treat it, it'll heal instantaneously. To treat a cut, you need disinfectant, styptic, sutures, and a bandage. As long as you have all those things, the cut should heal up nicely. You should be able to find That area is home to.
Alright, we're looping.
Snake, whatever happens to you, make sure you leave a descendant, okay?
Are you saying you want to have my baby?
No. I'm saying that in the 21st century, the genes of soldiers like you are going to be in high demand.
Genes?
Uh-huh. Remember when Watson and Crick discovered the double helix structure of DNA back in 1953?
No.
You know, they won the Nobel Prize in Medicine for it the year before last. Of course, you have to feel sorry for Pauling and Franklin. They were researching the exact same thing.
Sorry, I don't follow.
Inside every living creature are little blueprints called genes. Through the union of the sperm and egg cells, these blueprints are transformed and inherited by the next generation. That's why parents and children resemble each other. The concept of genes was first proposed over 100 years ago by Mendel, but he didn't know what they were exactly. For a while, it was thought that chromosomes were composed not of deoxyribonucleic acid, but of proteins called polypeptides. Later, it was shown that deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, was a biological macromolecule. Then 11 years ago, Watson and Crick discovered that DNA had a double helix structure.
Yeah, this is all fascinating stuff, but what exactly does it have to do with me?
The inherent characteristics of any given individual are determined by his or her genes. By duplicating a set of superior genes, a separate body with the same set of characteristics, a clone, can be created.
But genes don't control a person's fate.
That's true, but having an offspring that's genetically identical to the parent is more efficient, right? You can expect better results that way.
More efficient? You can't mass-produce human beings.
Maybe, but now that we know the true nature of genes, human cloning is that much closer to reality. Nuclear transplanting is already theoretically possible, so one day...
My genes are going to be a valuable commodity.
Exactly.
They'd never let that happen.
Just think, even if your body dies, you survive and go on to bigger and better accomplishments. If you think about it, it's kind of an honor.
Does that kind of technology seriously appeal to you?
Well, I am a doctor. I can't condone it on moral grounds, but I'm fascinated by the possibilities. Especially when I see such an excellent specimen as yourself.
Yeah, well, thanks for the compliment, but it doesn't make me feel any better.
Don't be so glum. It's not like it's going to happen anytime soon. We'll just have to wait and see.
Wow, this is really why it pays off to just scroll through these looping conversations anyways, because new ones do pop up from time to time, and this was a super interesting one. And now I want to play all the games, I think not in release order but chronological order, with MGS3 being the first one chronologically. Other people say it is funner to do it in release order, because even if it goes back in time and then it's not chronological, you do appreciate certain lore better, because you know what happens or happened in previous releases, even if they are in the future. And this is a prime example, because they are now, this will become, Naked Snake will become Big Boss, as I understand it. And he's now just with Paramedic chatting about genes and clones. While in later Metal Gear Solid 2 I think, or maybe 1 even, cloning is a huge part of the story, because Big Boss, I think he will get cloned into, I forgot their names, but he will get 2 cloned brothers, so to say. So really interesting that, and if I wouldn't have played those other games already, when following the release schedule, because I did play them of course also when they were released. You cannot play something that is not released yet, so I had to wait for each new one. So I've automatically followed the release order, so I know about that. But if I wouldn't have played those games, this conversation would not have made much of an impact. But maybe the other way around, then you play another game, where cloning, a later game, chronologically later, but it actually release date earlier. But when you play that after this one, you could think like, oh, this is about cloning. And there was this codec conversation in Metal Gear Solid 3 when Big Boss was a young guy, Naked Snake. That's pretty interesting. But this is only a minor codec conversation, so you will not really probably remember even this conversation when you are in a later game that is all about cloning. The other way around, I do remember it. I can make the link, because cloning was such a big thing of that story, of that earlier game, so to say. But yes, so I think there's something to be said either way, to play the games chronologically, timeline-wise, in a logical order, or you do it release-wise. There was also, people as an example said, like, for example with Ocelot. Ocelot in this game also is a very young guy. And in earlier games that released earlier but are later chronologically, he is really like a pretty big nemesis, etc. And people said like, this game would not, Metal Gear Solid 3 would not make such a big impact, for example regarding Ocelot, if you don't know what he will turn out to be in later on. as you saw it in earlier games. So the game is release order is earlier, but time-wise it is in the future. It's later, with Ocelot being older. So then they say like, okay, seeing young Ocelot will not have made such an impression if you don't know older Ocelots from that earlier game. But you can also turn that one around. I think that's a better example as this codec conversation, because this codec conversation, when you play one of the games with cloning, you will most likely forget about it. I mean, we will listen to 100 other codec conversations still, so it's really hard to remember them all. But with Ocelot, Ocelot is really like a pretty big character in this game as well. So even if you play this game first, then you will not have that reference of Ocelot becoming an enemy later on, and then like, oh wow, I now see how Ocelot was when he was younger in Metal Gear Solid 3, this game. You will not have that link, but you will have it the other way around. You will see Ocelot as a younger guy, and then in games that released earlier, but you will play afterwards because it's chronologically later than this one, then you will encounter Ocelot as an older nemesis, so to say, an older guy. That is also pretty cool. Then you will fight him, and in a game, you are in a game where he is as well, and you will remember Metal Gear Solid in the 60s, when it all began, when also Ocelot was a younger guy. So that is also a pretty nice link to have. So it is not looking from first experiencing the older one and then seeing the younger one, but the other way around, first experiencing chronologically the first game with the young Ocelot, and then later seeing the old one. I guess that is just a nice intertwining of the stories either way. So that is so I think there's an argument to be made for both sides. Either you play them chronologically or release date. I played most of them on release order. The only ones I still have to play, which I do want to do, is the very old Nintendo Entertainment System, like the top-down sprite graphics, Metal Gear, the very first Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. That is before all the 3D graphics, that is really old school. And then also I started it briefly, I think, but I would also like to play the one that came out on the Vita or something. I forgot what the name is. Peace Walker. I never really got far in that one. I think Peace Walker, and also one that I didn't finish yet at all, I didn't get that far, Metal Gear Solid 5. Peace Walker, so Metal Gear Solid 3, Peace Walker and 5 are all really at the start of the chronology. At the start, if you go through them chronologically, they're all in the 60s, I think. While Metal Gear Solid 5, release-wise, was the last game. So, yeah, I'm rambling now, but I will be going chronologically wise. But I was really, really cool to see that, this codec conversation on cloning, because it will be such a huge theme in later games. This is where it all started.
Snake, be careful when you approach the enemy. The closer you are, you can capture animals alive by using... You should be able to find Russian oyster.
Alright, I will go 6 more until 10 more.
You'll find a fruit.
Until I've done 10 more. So now 5 more.
You'll suffer broken bones if you jump from too high a place or get hit with a severe blow.
You see, there are new ones as well.
When you have a fracture, your maximum life goes down. Fractures will heal little by little over time, but you can heal them right away by going into Cure in the survival viewer and following the necessary procedure. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. Treating serious wounds will require you to use additional medical items. That's why it's always a good idea to, if you start to run out of medical items, the enemy should be carrying medical. You can get them by holding up enemy soldiers and
Alright, we already did that one.
Eat food to recover stamina. Capture plants and I have information on the local plant. You can capture animals alive by using... There should be a mushroom called the Bical scalytooth growing in that area. The Bical scalytooth mushroom is used as an antidote to poison. Check your stamina gauge to see how much stamina you have remaining. It shows, as the name suggests, as you consume stamina, your natural life regeneration is slowed and your hands shake more. Your O2 gauge and grip gauge also become shorter. Excessively low stamina can often impede your mission objectives. Make sure you replenish stamina before that occurs. To take a rest, all you have to...
Alright, that was more or less it. But it's really, there's a lot of repeating, looping conversations. But the problem is, there are, I think, new ones sometimes sprinkled in there. So it's really hard to stop. It's a little bit addictive, just going through them until you again hit a new one. But we are not done yet, because we have a totally new support guy that we didn't spoke to at all yet, Sigint. He is the weapons expert.
Yo! You're Snake, aren't you?
And you're Sigint?
None other.
I heard that you're an expert on weapons, equipment, and cutting-edge technology.
Close.
Huh?
I am the expert on weapons, equipment, and cutting-edge technology.
Ah.
I'm the guy that designed your trank gun, active sonar, and motion detector. If you want to know anything about weapons or equipment you find in the field, just send me a message and ask. Later. Sounds like the Cobra unit's members' names came from the specific emotions they each carry into battle.
Emotions?
Yeah. For unbearable torment, the pain. For true oblivion, the end. For infinite rage, the fury. For absolute terror, the fear. And for unsurpassed bliss, the joy.
The joy?
It's another name for the boss, because of the joy she feels in battle, I suppose.
Ah.
During the war, she had a partner named the Sorrow. Sorrow and joy. They say there couldn't have been a more perfect pair.
I now wonder, what was the Cobra unit? Was that unit of the boss during the war? Let me quickly look that up. So we do MGS Cobra unit. Consisted of soldiers trained to win the war and with superhuman abilities. The Cobra unit, also known as the Cobras and once referred to as the Sons of the Boss, was a legendary team of soldiers that were assembled by the boss in 1942 to combat the Axis power. The code names for each member of the team reflect a specific emotion that a soldier experiences while on the battlefield. The Cobra unit consisted of soldiers trained to win the war and with superhuman abilities, which at least two owed to parasite therapy. Its members were the pain, the fear, the end, the fury, and the sorrow. Alright, who is the pain? That's the guy, I think, with the bees. The fear is the guy in the trees with the poison darts. The end is the guy, the old guy in the forest that you have to hunt down, the sniper. The fury is the guy in the astronaut suit, the flamethrower. And the sorrow is the ghost guy that apparently was the partner of the boss, I guess. Or let me see, did they actually have a relationship? I think so, because also in the cutscene, the main intro cutscene in the previous episodes, he got close, she couldn't see him, the boss, because he's a ghost-like apparition, but she did feel his presence. And then it rained red, like blood or something, she said, and she felt his presence. So I'm sure there's more to the two than just military comrades. The spirit medium soldier of the Cobra unit, the Sorrow. No unique combat abilities. He has the spiritual powers of a medium. He was able to summon the dead and assume their combat abilities by bringing their spirits into them himself. Communicating with dead soldiers also gave him several advantages during battle, such as learning of enemy positions. Like the other Cobras, his codename reflected the emotion he brought to the battlefield. Alright, but... where Bos and Sorrow partners? Yes, in the Metal Gear series, the Boss and the Sora were partners and had a romantic relationship which resulted in the birth of their son Ocelot. They were both members of the Cobra unit during World War II, and the Sora was a powerful psychic who used his abilities to aid the Allied war effort. Holy shit! Ocelot is the son of the Boss. That's, that's like a spoiler. I've totally forgot about that. I would have liked to figure that out from the game itself, but I don't have that good of a memory, so probably I will forget tomorrow already, and then it will be new to me once it pops up in the game. Anywho.
The Davy Crockett's that the boss took with her when she defected are mortars that fire nuclear warheads. They're named after Davy Crockett, the hero who died defending the Alamo in the Texan War of Independence.
Remember the Alamo.
That's right. The warheads are equivalent to between 10 and 20 tons of TNT. Every building within 150 yards of the hypocenter is completely obliterated. But the warheads the boss had with her were some kind of experimental super bomb, so they're actually even more powerful than that. I don't even want to think about what happened if she used it again. Snake, you know what you have to do.
Yeah, I know.
It was not the boss who used them. It was Fulden.
You mean you're not wearing any face paint? You can take off your face paint by selecting no paint from face. Just select no paint when you want to skip wearing any face paint at all. But your camo index is never going to be as high without face paint as it is with it. Unless you want the enemy to see you, you ought to be wearing face paint. Pattern clothing, face paint, tactical movements. These are the elements of camouflage that will allow you to deceive your enemy. To camouflage yourself, first check out the survival viewer. Then select camouflage, and you'll see two more options: face and uniform. Choose face to apply face paint, and uniform to change your field uniform. Simple, really. Make sure and choose something that'll match your surroundings. I heard you fought against KGB troops in the Virtuous mission, but this time you're up against Spetsnaz. Spetsnaz is the Special Forces unit of GRU, the intelligence wing of the Soviet Defense Ministry's General Staff Office. Spetsnaz troops undergo rigorous training in all types of special ops, from assassination and demolition to intelligence gathering. That and Volgan's loaded, man. His unit is one of the best equipped in the entire Soviet Union, if not the best. I heard the enemies you encountered in the Virtuous mission were only carrying weapons like AKs and grenades. Well, it ain't that simple anymore. In addition to AKs, some of the patrols you'll encounter might be equipped with Scorpion submachine guns and shotguns. The Scorpion is even lighter than the AK, making it much easier to handle. Basically, a guy with a Scorpion is not gonna miss you as often as with an AK. The shotgun is a powerful weapon. One blast is enough to floor you, and you're likely to be seriously wounded. Watch for that, man. Keep in mind that every weapon and piece of equipment weighs something. The heavier the equipment you're lugging around, the faster you'll burn up stamina. You can see how much your equipment weighs by going into the backpack screen in the survival viewer. If you're trying to conserve your stamina, make some cuts and toss the equipment you don't need in your backpack. In addition to AKs, some of the patrols you'll encounter might be equipped with Scorpion submachine guns and shotguns. The Scorpion is even lighter than... Basically, a guy with the shotgun is one blast. Pattern clothing, face paint, tactical movements. These are the elements of camouflage that will allow you to deceive your enemy. To camouflage yourself, first then select camo. Choose face, make sure and choose... Pattern clothing. These are the elements... Whenever you find a new weapon or piece of equipment, the first thing you do is drop it in your backpack, right? But you can't use your new goodies if they're just sitting in your backpack. To use a weapon or piece of equipment, first you have to take it out of your backpack and place it on your person. To take an item out of your backpack, use the backpack option in the survival viewer. To place a weapon on your person, select Weapon under the backpack section of the survival viewer. See that window? That shows a list of all the weapons you've got. Choose the weapon you want to carry from the list and press the Enter button to take it out of your backpack. Just remember that there's a limit to the number of weapons you can carry at the same time, so put back any stuff you don't need. To put a weapon on your person back into your backpack, choose a weapon that's already on you from the weapon list and press the Enter button. Or you can just swap the weapon you want to put away for another. Do whatever works best. When you're using the assault rifle, pressing the aim button will ready it. That's nice if you need to drop nearby enemies with some speed, but it's difficult to aim straight. If you need to take more accurate shots, like tagging enemies in vital spots from a distance, use the first-person view button instead. Doing so will allow you to aim the gun from the shoulder. You can take precise aim with the front and rear sights. When you're focusing on your mark, it will be as accurate as if you were zooming in. The black uniform isn't really camouflage. It was intended to have a psychological shock effect on enemies in hostage rescue operations and stuff like that. But it should also make you pretty hard to see if you wear it in a dark environment. And it might also work on black, earthy surfaces like you'd find in swamps. The black uniform isn't... Covering your body is a good start, but a bare face will kill even the best camouflage. If the situation calls for a high camo index, you better break out the face paint. To apply face paint, select Face from the camouflage menu in the survival viewer. Then choose a face paint that blends in with your surroundings. When you fire continuously with a gun like the assault rifle, the recoil will cause your shots to veer off target. But if you crouch or lie down, you can suppress the recoil and keep a tight fire pattern. So when you gotta hit that bullseye, take a low position. Leaf pattern is a forest camouflage created to provide cover in woodland areas. Now that our involvement in Vietnam looks set to expand, they're thinking about adopting it for official use. It'll help you blend in, especially well when you're hiding in the bushes. You mean you're not wearing any... You can take off your... Squares is a mountain camo that's basically a bunch of square patterns. It might look conspicuous at first glance, but it actually blurs the contours of the person wearing it and makes them more difficult to pick out. It should give you a low profile against reddish backgrounds like bricks and rusty metal. Whenever you find a new weapon or piece of equipment, but you can't use your new goodies. To use a weapon or piece of equipment, first you have to take an item out of your backpack. Use the backpack to place a weapon on your person. Select Weapon under the backpack section of the survival. See that window? Choose the weapon you want to carry from the list and press the Enter button to take it out of your back. Just remember that there's a limit to the number of weapons you can carry, so put back any stuff you don't need. To put a weapon on your person back into your back, choose a weapon that's already on you from the weapon list and press the Enter button. Or you can just swap the weapon you want to put away for another. Do whatever works best. Tree bark is a forest pattern created primarily for use by hunters. It'll give you an exceptionally low profile if you wear it when you're pressed up against a tree. So you've got your uniform and your face paint, but that alone isn't enough to make for good camouflage. Camouflage means blending in with nature. To make your disguise complete, you've got to keep a low profile and avoid overt movements. As long as you've got the uniform and face paint working for you, and you're lying flat keeping still, you won't have to worry about being spotted from a distance. On the flip side, dancing around your enemy in perfect camo is still a dead giveaway. So if the enemy's looking for you and he's getting too close for comfort, just lay low for the time being. You're on a solo sneaking mission. Your success is based on your ability to survive. That's where the survival viewer comes in. The survival viewer contains everything you need to survive out in the field. Use camouflage to change your camouflage and backpack to select your gear. Use food to eat, cure to treat wounds, and map to view a detail of the area. You've also got options that let you change the settings to suit your mission preferences. Got it? Pattern clothing, face paint. In addition to AKs, some of the patrols you'll encounter, the Scorpion. Squares is a mountain camp. Squares is a mount. You mean you're not?
Tell me something, Sigint.
What's that?
What does Sigint mean, anyway?
It's short for Signal Intelligence.
Signal intelligence?
The part of intelligence that deals with electronic information. Things like intercepting and analyzing electronic communications, determining enemy force strength and positioning from radar emissions and radio chatter. You get the idea. Code breaking is considered part of SIGINT as well. 40 years from now, we'll be in the age of electronic warfare. It won't be long before information replaces firepower as the most valuable commodity on the battlefield.
So you're saying they won't need guys like me anymore?
Sorry to break it to you, but that's not gonna happen. No matter how advanced our technology gets, there's still no substitute for human beings. Anyway, the Major is a man of foresight. He knew the electronic age was coming, and so he called out to me.
And you responded?
Well, I didn't have any place else to go.
You couldn't find a job?
Nope. None of the places where they do this kind of high-tech research would even let me in the door.
Why not? I know you've got social problems, but...
Come again?
Nothing. I mean, someone with your talent ought to be able to...
Yeah, well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that I'm black. The Major, though, he doesn't care about what color you are. I've never met anyone like him before. He's different, you know?
Oh, yeah, I know.
I don't think racism's gonna go away even in the 21st century. But I want to work with computers and use them to bring people closer together. In the digital world, it doesn't matter whether you're black or white, American or Russian or whatever. Everybody's going to be the same. That's what I think. The camo index displayed on the screen tells you if your outfit is getting the job done. The higher the value of this index, the harder it is for the enemy to spot you. Try your best to keep the camo index as high as possible. When you're using the assault rifle, pressing the aim button will ready it. That's nice if you need to drop nearby enemies with some speed, but it's difficult to aim straight. If you need to take more accurate shots, like tagging enemies in vital spots from a distance, use the first-person view button instead. Doing so will allow you, when you're focusing on your mark, it will be as... In addition to AK, your field uniform is not just a set of threads to wear. To get the max effect out of your camouflage, you gotta correspond with your environment. So no matter where you are, make sure to choose a camo pattern that lets you blend in. Splitter is an indoor face paint. Painting your face with splitter should help you blend in better when you're infiltrating a building. Your field uniform is not just... Splitter is an indoor... Your field uniform... In addition to AK... You're wearing the tiger stripe pattern camouflage, huh? Tiger stripe is a forest camouflage. As you may have guessed by the name, it mimics the stripe pattern on a tiger's coat. It was originally worn by South Vietnamese Marines. Then it caught the attention of an American military advisor, and now they're thinking of introducing it into all kinds of special forces units. It works best in places with lots of trees and grass, but it should blend in with dirt and mud, too. The camo index displayed on the screen tells you if your outfit is getting the job done. The higher the value of this index, the harder it is for the enemy to spot you. Try your best to keep the camo index as high as possible. Painting your face with black paint should give you a high rate of camouflage in dark areas. The black uniform is... Your field uniform is not just a... Leaf pattern is a forest camouflage created to provide cover in woodland areas. Now that our involvement in Vietnam...
Alright, one more
Splitter
new
is an
one.
indoor...
Then I will
Splitter
stop.
is an indoor... Splitter is an... Your field uniform... Tree bark is a forest pattern created... You're on a solo sneaking mission. That's where the survival... Squares is a mountain camo... Your field uniform... Tree bark is a... Pattern clothing.
I think we exhausted them all.
You're wearing the Splitter is an in. Splitter is an. Squares is a mountain. You're wearing the top. Squares is a mountain. Painting your face. Your field uniform. You're on a solo sneaking mission.
Alright, I will do 10 more to see if a new one.
Your field uniform is not. Squares is a mountain.
2,
Pattern clothing.
3,
Keep in mind that every weapon and piece of equipment, the heavier the equipment you're lugging around, the faster you'll burn up stamina. You can see how much your equipment weighs by going into the back. If you're trying to conserve your stamina, make some cuts and toss the equipment you don't need in your backpack.
I think we already got that one as well, but this was 5, I think.
Covering your body is a good start, but a bare...
6,
Keep in mind that every weapon and piece of...
7,
So you've got your uniform and your face paint, but that'll... Camouflage means to make your disguise complete. As long as you've got the uniform and face and you're lying flat, keeping still.
I don't know where we are. 7, let's do 7.
The woodland paint is most effective in forest environments. It'll work best if you use it when infiltrating forest areas.
I think that was a new one. I'm not 100% sure. But
The black uniform isn't really count.
Alright, 9,
When you're using the assault rifle,
10. Alright, so Sigan doesn't have as much dialogue as Major Zero, and also I think less than Paramedic, who also has a lot of dialogue when saving the game. She talks about movies there, I think. That's pretty fun. But yeah, so it may seem a little bit over the top how I'm tackling this, but I really would like to, maybe, you know, it is a Japanese developers. There could be like hidden, super interesting dialogue options, like hidden deep down all kinds of other random stuff. Just like, for example, in Dark Souls, where you had whole levels locked behind very obscure steps. If you didn't, you actually really had to know about it. You hardly could find it without looking it up. But that is what makes these Japanese games so interesting. There are so many layers. There's so much more behind the surface than what you can see superficially. That's the difference between these games and Western games. Western games are much more superficial, I find. Alright, but anywho, we basically did a lot of codecs and it's already quite late, so I don't have a lot of time anymore. I do think there may be... Oh, fuck me, I don't want to spend a bullet. Sorry. I don't want to spend a bullet on an apple, so... you know what? I don't even know. Can I shoot? I don't know if there are enemies around. By the way, it also said that in the survival viewer there's an options menu. I don't see an options menu here, honestly. Let's see, what's the objective? No idea. Can we also get to other areas? No. I do think, if I remember correctly, you know what, I'm just going to try without a silencer. Screw it. Let's also just save the game. Normally I don't want to save that much, because that is actually also for certain ranks, but I will not be making those ranks anyways, Fox or Foxhound, because it all depends also on time. You have to complete the game within 5 hours, which is something I really don't like. In an immersive game like this, I really like to take my time. I'm not gonna rush through it. But one of the items as well is less than 25 saves, I think. But yeah, I will not be getting those ranks anyway, so let's just save, just for my... I don't think codec in conversations are any achievement if you listen to them all. But I did listen to all of them now, and also just in case... No, I will just leave it be. Why save now? I just wanted to think that, okay, if I shoot the apple and all the enemies and there will be an alert, because I will be going for a 0 alerts run, then I have to restart, and then the game doesn't know that I listened to all these conversations. just in case that there is an achievement connected to it. Yeah, I will just take my chance. Alright, I do find the sound of this gun pretty underwhelming. It sounds very hollow and very distant. I mean, it's not bad, but it could be a little bit louder. Alright, we also, by the way, right from the start, need to be sharp on the collectibles. I.e. the duck and the frog, which I really like actually. Alright, do we want that snake? Oh man, I picked up a mousetrap from Ocelot in the previous episode, but that was before we ended the virtuous mission, like the prologue. And now we got inserted into the battle area again with a new set of items and weapons. So I lost my mousetrap, my gear, it's new gear loadout. And we still have that bug with these blue textures. Apparently if you do hardware scheduling in Windows 11 somewhere, if you turn that off, that fixes this. But it doesn't sound like a good idea to disable hardware priority scheduling. So I will just wait for a patch. It's not that annoying. Wow, this is a pretty cool... Ah, that's that flying squirrel. This is also so nice from listening to the codec, because you really just know much more about the world you're in. And here we go, first one. Both actually. Alright, this is also really handy. Now you can see, no, you can see it over here at the bottom right. You see the check mark. That means we got both the collectibles in this area. I'm pretty sure there's an upcoming, I'm not 100% sure, but I think there will be it looks pretty good, even with DLSS. God damn it. There will be another cutscene with the boss coming up. And it looks good. Alright, so that was a really small area. That was one separate area. So now we have new collectibles here. Each area has them, pretty sure. Maybe what I would have done... Oh, God damn it, now I dropped down. Did I now? I didn't really look that good, that well to collectibles up there. But anyways, I would have maybe made it a little bit more dark. Lots of games, when it's nighttime, it's just way too light. Just like Skyrim. Also one mod that I always try to install in Skyrim, Darker Night. I'm still making my mod list for Skyrim. Actually, I was in the middle of it. I've been working on it literally for weeks and weeks. Because it is such a Pandora's box, such a rabbit hole. You fall from one thing into the other, and before you know it, it really is a time drain, but it's super fun, I find. But this time around, I will be I think, changing the night brightness values myself instead of using a mod. Holy shit, check out that snake. Pretty damn cool. Alright, I'm pretty sure that we will have a cutscene with the boss. Which is a good moment to end the episode on. Because unfortunately, there's still one working day tomorrow. And it's already quite late. That's the horse of the boss, I think.
Looks like death wasn't ready for you yet.
Boss.
That arm still hurt?
What are you doing here?
Fuck her, man.
Go home. Go home. Gru and my sons are waiting up ahead. You don't have a prayer of finishing your mission. You're not even armed.
Boss!
I'm not your boss anymore. There's nothing for you here. Go home. Go back to your boss. There's no need to prove that you are virtuous here. This isn't America. That should stir things up a bit. You'd better hurry.
That's the Sorrow.
The border is 60 miles south of here. You ought to be able to run that far.
Why'd you defect?
I didn't. I'm loyal to the end, to my purpose. What about you, Jack? What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your old mentor? The mission or your beliefs? Your duty to your unit or your personal feelings?
I really don't get why she defected.
You don't know the truth yet. But sooner or later you'll have to choose. I don't expect you to forgive me. But you can't defeat me either. You know me too well. Just look at that bandana. If you can't put the past behind you, you won't survive long.
Motherfucker!
If we meet again, I'll kill you. Now, go home.
Motherfucking bitch. Seriously. Motherfucking bitch. Oh shit, more codecs.
This is Snake. Major Zero.
I read you, Snake.
I was ambushed by the boss.
You were what?
The drone's been shot to hell. It's up in flames.
That's not good. Enemy scouts are going to come looking for you.
Yeah, I know. But what was the boss doing here in the first place? There's got to be a leak somewhere.
No, that's impossible. The man the boss is working with, Volgin, isn't exactly on speaking terms with Khrushchev.
I lost my gun. The boss destroyed it.
Snake, I know how you're feeling. It's hard for me to believe, too, that a legendary hero like the boss would go over to the Russians. That she'd double-cross us like this. But that's how it is, and if you don't accept it, you'll never be able to beat her.
That's not the problem. In terms of sheer technique, I'll never be able to beat her. I know that all too well.
You've got to do it, Snake. She's your enemy and your objective.
Enemy? We were together for 10 years, and now you tell me she's my enemy?
Enough. Hurry to the factory where Adam is waiting. Scouts have probably already been sent out to investigate the explosion. You've lost your weapon, right? That means you've got no chance of winning in a battle situation. Whatever you do, don't let them see you.
Major.
Snake, the boss is your enemy. You've got to accept that reality. Adam is waiting for you at the abandoned factory to the north of your current position. Head north. The enemy must have seen the drone explode. They've probably already sent out patrol units. You never know when you'll encounter the enemy. Use your camouflage wisely and proceed with caution. Remember that you've lost your gun. You don't stand a chance in a fight against an enemy unit. Use your camouflage and don't let the enemy see you.
Major, why was the boss there? Did they detect my infiltration?
That's impossible. The drone shouldn't have been picked up by their radar at all.
Then how did she know? It couldn't have been a...
That's also out of the question. We've taken all measures to ensure this mission stays secret.
Then what's going on?
I don't know. It won't do you any good to dwell on it, Snake. Hurry to your rendezvous with Adam. Head for the abandoned factory to the north. Watch out for enemy patrols. Stay alert at all times, okay? Snake, you don't have a tranquilizer gun right now. That means you'll just have to capture animals with your bare hands or with your survival knife. You should be able to harvest mushrooms and other low-lying plants with no problem by punching them or using your knife. It'll be tougher to catch small animals, but you might have a chance if you use stalking from behind.
Here, that's a really nice tip. I would not have thought about that myself.
Major,
What is it?
why did the boss betray us?
Leave it alone, Snake.
But
We've been through this before. Besides, asking for reasons now won't change anything.
I thought I'd find out if I met her face to face. I thought for sure she'd tell me, but
Then you'll have to find your own answers.
by completing my mission,
Yes. Snake, press the memory button on the radio screen to open the memory window. In the memory window, select a person to contact and press the enter button. This saves you the time of adjusting the frequency. The battlefield airwaves are littered with various transmissions. You can find a real catch if you fiddle around enough.
Yeah, so that's what I want to do maybe also in the next episode. Just manually going through the codec to see if we can find some secret frequency.
When you creep inside a small space, the overhead view switches to the intrusion. Also in the corner view, you can the distance that you throw grenades and other
Right, we already heard
Snake,
all these.
when you stand up against a tree or the camera gives you a view of this makes it easier to keep track of what's occurring on the other side of your cover. Also, there are a variety, including peeking out from cover and taking jump-out shots. Learning how to take advantage of the corner view, use it to your Snake, remember that this when you creep inside a small space, the overhead view
Snake, king cobras are making their home in the area you're in now. The king cobra is the world's largest venomous snake. Its large size means that it has a lot of venom to inject. One bite is supposedly enough to kill an elephant. And it's extremely vicious as well, so watch out. If you get bitten by a king cobra and injected with venom, your life will start to decrease rapidly. As soon as you're bitten, go into the survival viewer and use Cure to give yourself a serum injection. The king cobra's diet consists mostly of other snakes. Be careful, or you might end up as its next meal.
Got it. So...
What? How does it taste?
Yep.
Ugh. It seems you're the one whose diet consists of other snakes.
You're making me blush.
The guide says they taste just fine. Ugh. Snake, that area is inhabited by the green tree python. The green tree python isn't venomous, so no need to worry. It's fairly docile too, so I don't think it's likely to attack you. The green tree python originally comes from Australia and New Zealand. It's a really pretty green color, and it lives... Oh my god.
What's wrong?
Snake, what did I just say?
They come from Australia and New Zealand.
No, after that.
They're a really pretty green color.
I thought so. What was I thinking? Seeing a snake and calling it pretty?
What's wrong with that?
Everything. When a normal woman sees a snake, she's supposed to scream or get sick or something like that.
And you think you're normal?
What was that?
Nothing.
Ah, it's all your fault.
Jeez, I'm sorry. But enough of that.
What do you mean, enough of that? This is serious.
No, I just wanted you to tell me how it tastes.
How should I know?
Ugh.
It was awfully pretty, though. That area is home to the Sunda whistling thrush. The Sunda whistling thrush is a bird native. It's distinguished by its large blue body.
Already heard that one?
Snake, be careful when you approach the enemy.
This one as well?
Snake, that area is inhabited by... The giant anaconda is said to be the... It's not venomous, but it's... Food poisoning is caused by eating poisonous food. You'll catch a cold if you hang around too long without any clothes on, or spend too much time in the water or the swamp. When you catch a cold, your stamina goes down more rapidly. You'll also sneeze from time to time, and the noise can alert enemies to your presence. Plus, your body will shake, so you might not be able to distinguish vibrations very well. To cure a cold, go into Cure in the survival viewer and take some cold medicine. Some types of food spoil faster. Snake, I looked at your medical record. You've been exposed to an atomic blast?
Yeah, the Bravo shot. It was a hydrogen bomb test conducted at Bikini Atoll on March 1st, 1954. I was at the American base on Kwajalein in the Marshall Islands when the ashes of death started falling from the sky.
Any symptoms?
None. At least, not yet. But a lot of the guys who were in it with me are now suffering from thyroid cancer and leukemia. Some of them are dead already. One of these days. Anyway, I'd better get back to the mission.
Yeah. You'll get a stomachache if you eat something rotten. To cure a stomachache, that area is home to the Check your stamina gauge to... Snake, that's the home to the otten frog. Snake, that area should be inhabited by tree... The tree frog is a green frog. It's arboreal, spending most of its time in shrubs and... Snake, that area is inhabited by... Magpies are dark blue and white birds with long tails that belong to the crow family. You should be able to capture them alive using the tranquilizer. Leeches will sometimes attach themselves to you if you spend a long time in the water or the swamp. When you've got leeches on you, they'll suck your blood, causing you to lose stamina. You should get rid of them as soon as possible. To get rid of leeches, go into Cure in the survival viewer and press your cigar into them. Or, if you use the insecticidal bug juice ahead of time, the leeches won't bother you as long as the bug juice is in effect. You should be able to find Siberian ink cap mushrooms growing in that area. The Siberian ink, it's known to be... You'll find a fruit called the Eat food to recover stamina. Snake, there's a fruit called the golova. The golova is a variety of... It's big... That area is home to the Sunda whistling thrush.
Pattern clothing, face... Your field uniform is not... Splitter is an indoor... Painting your face with black paint should give... Covering your body is a good start, but a bit... You mean... Squares is a mountain cam. Painting your face with black paint should give you a high rate of camouflage. Whenever you find a new weapon or piece of equipment, the first thing you do is, but you can't use your new good. To use a weapon or piece of equipment, first you have to take. Keep in mind that every weapon and piece of equipment, the heavier the equipment you're lugging, you can see how much your equipment weighs. If you're trying to conserve your stamina, make some cuts and toss the equipment you don't need in your back. Squares is a mountain cam.
Right, that was basically everything codec wise before now starting. Oh fuck me, there are guys over there. Before starting Operation Snake Eater for real.
HQ. This is HQ.
Patrol here. We have evidence of an enemy intruder. Commence alert formation.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
Where are these guys? Ah, there's one. And there's another one. And there's a drone that the boss shut up. Alright, we will be taking out these guys in the next episodes. I don't know if there is a autosave here. Bermucci North. Yeah, I guess this is an autosave, right? 951, yeah. But let's just do a save as well.
Saving the game, Snake? Snake, have you heard of It Came from Outer Space?
Yeah, you told me already.
So this astronomer sees a meteor, but it's really an alien spaceship, right? And the aliens start replacing the townspeople with clones and forcing them to help repair the ship. The 3D effects were quite realistic.
I've got all the real I can handle here in the jungle.
No, you don't get it. Precisely because it's realistic, with the images jumping out of the screen at you. It makes for a nice escape from reality. I have to admit it made my eyes tired, but it was really intense. Unfortunately, they don't make very many of those movies anymore.
When did it come out?
I was still in college, so probably about 10 years ago?
Guess I'm out of luck then.
You know, they're coming out with household versions of video cassette recorders. One day you'll be able to see old movies anytime you want. It'll be like having a movie theater in your own home.
Really?
It's like if you had a record with movie film etched onto it instead of music. It'll work the same way.
You're kidding.
No, really. And someday they might make movies where you control the characters yourself.
Sounds like magic.
It'll happen. Make sure you stay alive to see it, Snake.
Really fun little conversations. So that was that. What was here? Ah, we can also tune it. We will be tuning for some hidden frequencies in the next episode. And then we will start the Operation Snake Eater proper. Yeah, so this, just like the very first episode and basically also the episodes in between, really getting to grips with the game, starting slowly, but certainly starting surely as well. We have new enemies, not KGB anymore, but Spetsnaz. So higher tier grunts. Ah, and I immediately see the at least already one of the collectibles. Can we then also see the other one? Problem is I cannot shoot it because I don't have any weapon to do so. And even if I would have, I don't have a silencer. But we will figure that out in the next episode. Guys, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one. For the meantime, don't forget, always to keep on gaming. Slater.